Injuries have been the one black cloud over this great NBA season. And for the OKC Thunder, the injury bug just continues to bite them. It has gotten to Serge Ibaka. He will miss 4 to 6 weeks following a knee procedure. He missed a couple games because he had knee soreness. And then he had to go in, get a procedure. It was successful. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. And we know Kevin Durant has still not returned. And as of today, March 18th, OKC Thunder are out of the playoffs. The New Orleans Pelicans are 37-30 as well as the Thunder, but sitting 8th above OKC because of the tiebreaker. And with Ibaka out for basically the rest of the regular season, it's a fair question to ask if OKC will even make the playoffs this year. Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again to talk NBA with you guys, specifically the OKC Thunder. And now this Western Conference playoff race for 8th place between them and the Pelicans. Anthony Davis has been playing out of this world along with Russell Westbrook. But we just got news that Serge Ibaka had knee surgery. He will be out 4 to 6 weeks. If it's 4 weeks, it will put him out for basically the rest of the regular season. 6 weeks will stretch into the playoffs if OKC is able to make it. Because like I said, it's going to be a race between the Pels and the Thunder. They're both 37-30 with 15 games remaining, and the Pelicans have the tiebreaker over OKC. Kevin Durant is still not returned from injury, but according to ESPN's Chris Broussard, Kevin Durant should be back on the court sometime within the next week. So that's great news for Oklahoma City to get back the second best player in the world. But at the same time, it may take Kevin Durant a little time to reacclimate himself with his teammates. And not to mention, he does have new key teammates such as Enes Kanter, DJ Augustine, Kyle Singler, that he hasn't even played with, if I'm not mistaken. And not to mention, Russell Westbrook has been playing out of this world, especially without Kevin Durant. Now, without Kevin Durant, OKC is just 14-11. But Russell Westbrook has been playing out of this world. Since the All-Star break, he averages a triple-double. In his last 10 games, he has 7 triple-doubles. Just putting up gaudy numbers. Had 4 straight triple-doubles at one point, which is unheard of. We haven't seen that since, I believe, Oscar or Magic. So Russell Westbrook, he was playing at an unhuman level. And I'm not even sure I should use was, because he's still putting up gaudy numbers right now. And I'm just thinking, is Russell Westbrook going to be able to relinquish some of his shooting habits? Because like I said, there's been plenty of games he's jacked up 25 plus shots since Kevin Durant has been out. So I just want to see how that dynamic is going to play out with Russell Westbrook, you know, just cementing himself as an MVP candidate and as a superstar, basically, without Kevin Durant this season. How will those two play together once Kevin Durant returns? Will this all go to Russell Westbrook's head? Will he act as if this is his team? Because to me, this is still Kevin Durant's team at the end of the day. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall, and he just has more impact on the game at his size than Russell Westbrook does. And this will always be Kevin Durant's team. He's more efficient. So I just wonder how that will play out. And when I look at the Pelicans, Anthony Davis, man, he's just a freak of nature. And what's most scary about him is he's only 22 years old. He's still got 8 years before he's 30 years old. And he hasn't been too shabby himself. He's still been putting up MVP-type numbers. In March, he's averaging 29 points, 11 rebounds, and over 4 blocks a game. So Anthony Davis, he's been playing at a great level. The Pelicans, even without him the few games he's missed, they've been doing well. Tyreke Evans, he's been good this year. Eric Gordon, when he's been healthy, he's been producing. And with him, Davis, and Evans playing well together, this team has somehow got to 37-30 and are now in 8th place above OKC. And now with this Ibaka injury, it's really a tough question to ask yourself, is OKC going to make the playoffs? Because we know they're the perennial team that's been in the playoffs, even made the finals. New Orleans, they're still an up-and-coming team. Haven't seen the playoffs. AD hasn't seen the playoffs. Evans hasn't. Gordon may have in LA, but he might not even have. So are we ready to buy in on Anthony Davis and this Pelicans team this year to be a playoff team, to hold this OKC team off in these last 15 games of the season? Are we there yet with Anthony Davis and the Pelicans? Because it's really tough. Ibaka is a big loss for this Thunder team. He averages about 15 points, 8 rebounds. The 8 rebounds was surprising to see. I thought he would average double digits, but the Thunder are number 1 in rebounding, and losing him will definitely be a loss to their rebounding, and he added a 3-point shot. His mid-range shot is definitely one of the best at his position in the league, so he is a huge loss for this Thunder team, especially if Kevin Durant isn't back as soon as we expect, which is within this week. If Kevin Durant is not back, without Ibaka, and Russell Westbrook has to carry this team with Dion Waiters, DJ Augustine, Enes Kanter as his main counterparts to count on, it's going to be tough. But the one thing that OKC does have an advantage over the New Orleans Pelicans in, that is strength of schedule for the rest of the way. The New Orleans Pelicans, they face 10 teams that are over 500 in their last 15 games. OKC only faces 8. And of those 10 teams, New Orleans faces Golden State twice, Houston twice, Memphis, and San Antonio. Not to mention, New Orleans will have only 6 of their last 15 games on their home court, while OKC will have 9 of their last 15 at home. But one thing about OKC's schedule is, although they do have less opponents with records over 500, the teams they face under 500 are teams like the Heat, who have a good players like Dragic and Wade, Boston, who's overachieving at the moment, Indiana, who's also in the playoff race, as well as Boston, and Utah, who's 11-2 in their last 13 games. So those aren't walkover opponents, although they are under 500. But when it comes down to these two teams, when I have to make my decision on who will or who won't make the playoffs, when I look at the Pelicans roster, especially in comparison to the Thunder's, even if we aren't counting Kevin Durant, after AD, Ashik, Evans, and Gordon, there's not much on that Pelicans roster. Pondexter, Norris Cole, Dante Cunningham. And then on the Pelicans, you got Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, Dion Waiters, Roberson, Mitch McGary has been playing well, Nick Collison, DJ Augustine, Kyle Singler, Anthony Morrow, 2 sharpshooters in Singler and Morrow. They have more defined roles, better skill sets, and when you look at it, even without Ibaka and Kevin Durant, the talent around Russell Westbrook is better than the talent around Anthony Davis. And for that fact, I believe the Thunder will somehow find a way back into the 8th seed, and they will be facing off against the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the NBA playoffs.